In the early 1900s, as the world surged forward in industry and innovation, one man had a vision so bold, so grand, that it would mark the beginning of one of the most tragic legends in history. His name was Thomas Andrews, a brilliant shipbuilder from Comber, Northern Ireland. Working with the prestigious Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast, he designed what was to be the largest, most luxurious ocean liner the world had ever seen. The ship would be called the RMS Titanic. Partnering with the White Star Line, and under the leadership of its managing director, J. Bruce Ismay, they set out to create a floating palace. A marvel of human engineering, 882 feet long, over 46,000 tons, and capable of carrying more than 2,200 people. Titanic was more than a ship. It was a symbol of pride, power, and man's conquest over nature. It featured Turkish baths, swimming pools, marble staircases, first-class staterooms more extravagant than royal palaces, and 4 towering smokestacks, 3 of which were functional. The 4th was added simply for show. Many believed the Titanic was unsinkable. Some even dared to say, not even God himself could sink this ship. And so, on April 10, 1912, she set sail from Southampton, England, bound for New York. The rich and powerful boarded with pride. The poor and hopeful clutched their dreams. Among them was a young artist named Jack Dawson, who won his ticket in a poker game in France. And aboard first class sat 17-year-old Rose DeWitt Bukater from a wealthy Philadelphia family, traveling with her arrogant fiancé, Cal Hockley. To the outside world, Rose had everything: status, jewelry, silks, and champagne. But inside, she was suffocating under the weight of a life she didn't choose. Her encounter with Jack began on the edge of death, as she stood on the back of the ship, ready to end it all. But Jack pulled her back, not just from the rail, but into life. Into freedom. Their bond defied the rigid class lines that divided the Titanic. He showed her laughter, wonder, and love. She gave him purpose, a reason to dream beyond survival. Their love burned bright like a flare in the night, short, dangerous, and unforgettable. But fate was already stirring in the cold Atlantic waters. On April 14, 1912, the Titanic sped forward, despite receiving multiple warnings of icebergs ahead. The sea was still. The night was moonless. Then came the cry, "Iceberg, right ahead." The crew turned hard, but it was too late. The iceberg scraped along the starboard side, tearing open the hull. 6 watertight compartments flooded. The Titanic could only stay afloat with 4. Thomas Andrews examined the damage. His voice was calm, but his eyes carried the truth. Titanic was going down. Panic spread. Lifeboats were lowered half full. There were only 20, enough for barely half of those on board. Women and children were given priority. Third-class passengers were trapped behind locked gates. Cold protocol now separated the living from the dead. In the middle of it all, the ship's band played on, "Nearer, my God, to thee," as passengers cried, prayed, and embraced. Some, like Benjamin Guggenheim, dressed in their finest and waited with dignity for the end. Captain Edward Smith went down with his ship. J. Bruce Ismay escaped on a lifeboat, his reputation forever shattered. And Thomas Andrews, the man who built Titanic, refused to save himself. He helped others, comforted the frightened, and disappeared into legend. Jack and Rose ran through the chaos, searching for hope amid horror. He lifted her into a lifeboat, but she jumped back, choosing love over survival. Together, they climbed to the stern, as the great ship groaned, cracked, and rose into the sky. Then, with a mighty roar, the Titanic split in two and vanished into the black abyss of the Atlantic. In the freezing water, Jack found a floating piece of debris and helped Rose climb onto it. There was no room for him. He clung to the edge, slowly freezing, never letting go of her hand. His final words were promise. "You must promise me." that you'll survive, that you'll never let go. When the rescue ship Carpathia arrived hours later, Rose was alone. She kept her word. She let go of Jack's hand and lived. Over 1,500 souls were lost that night. Only 705 survived. The world mourned. Investigations followed. The myth of human invincibility was shattered. The arrogance of calling a ship unsinkable, the failure to provide enough lifeboats, and the cruel inequality between rich and poor, all were exposed. The Titanic rests now, 12,500 feet beneath the sea, broken in two. But its story still rises. It's the story of pride and downfall, of heroes and cowards, of lovers who defied class and fate. It's the story of a ship that was called unsinkable until the ocean answered. Not even God could sink it, they said. But the sea did. Thank you. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Akamovies for more interesting and historical movies.